ॐ शुक्लाम्भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनाभधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிரக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन्। हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यप्रजोह्यं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने. കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ഇറക്കുന്നു നിരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞാനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറും രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കനായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Okay, so we'll do a quick review of 36. Hari, can you do three? And Anu, you can do three stanzas of 36. Yeah, go ahead, Anu. You want to get started? You can.
Okay. अत्रे पुत्रदया पुरा त्वमनसूयायां हि तत्तादितो जातः शिष्यनिबन्धतन्त्रितमनः स्वस्तश्चरन् कान्तया दृष्टोपक्तदमेन हे हयं महीपालेन तस्मै वरान् अष्टैश्वर्यमुखान् प्रदाय तदीदस्वेनैव शान्ते वदम् सत्यं कर्तुमदार्जुनस्य च वरं तच्छक्तिमात्रानदं ब्रह्मत्वेषि तदाखिलं निरुपकुलम् हन्तुं च भूमेर्परं सञ्जातो जमदग्निदो भृगुकुले त्वं रेणुकायां हरे रामो नाम तदात्मजेश्वरजः पित्रोरदाः सम्मतम् लप्तां नायकगणश्चतुर्दशवय गन्धर्वराजे मनाक् आसक्तां किल मादरं प्रतिपितुः क्रोधाकुलस्याज्ञया तदा ज्ञातिको तदा
Tata,
ज्ञातिकतो
sorry, Tata,
तादान्यादिकसोदरैः सममिमां चित्वा देशान्तात् पितुः देशां जीवनयोगमापितवरं मादा च तेदात् वरान्
yeah, we can stop there.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Pitra Matrumudi Swagvida Vityede Notijado Shramat Prasatyayad Prakrorgi Kirahi Magirau Arathya Gauri Padim Latva Tatparasum Tadukta Nijasthedi Mahastradikam Prabdo Mitramadokrada Varnamunim Prapyagamas
Swashramam, last word. Swashramam.
Swashramam.
Yeah, and then just at the previous word, Athakrita Vranamunim. Mitram Athakrita Vranamunim. Vranamunim, yeah.
Ahedu Pagado Junaha Surahavi Sambradabda Sambatkanehi Dvatpitra Paribujidaha Puraghado Durmandri Vacha Punaha Kam Kredum Sasivam Ningida Udiya Tenabi Indran Muhi Ranakshoba Sarosha Gohada Samuk Chakrena Vatsa Hridaha
Vatso Hritaha. And then the fourth line, just the first word, Pranakshepa. Yeah.
Pranaksheba Sarosha Gohada Samutsakrena Vatso Hridaha Sukro Jivida Tada Vakya Salida Vodada Sakya Samam Pripyatyada Mahodaroba Nihidam Saba Kudaram Sarang Aurudas Sahavagayan Dru Karadam Magish Madi Magisam Vagbir Vastamadakshi Shidibadau Sambrastu Sangaram.
Yeah. I think that's where we stop, right? Yeah. We'll continue from 7 today. Let me see who I had. Vidya Medal, you can be student, and Hema, you can be student. Putranamayutena सप्तदशभिश्चाक्षौहिणीभिर्महासेनानीभिरनेकमित्रनिवहैः व्याजृम्भिता योधनः सद्यस्त्वत्ककुटारबाणविदलन्निःशेषसंयोत्करो भीतिप्रद्रुतनष्टशिष्टतनयः त्वामापदध्येहयः. So just to recap, because we had a break, we lost the story. So there were two stories that was, sorry, if I lose, I think my internet is a bit unstable. I'm still in Bangalore. So just quick recap of where we left off, right? So there were two stories going on. One was this Kritavirya had a son called Kartavirya Arjuna, who was a very powerful king. When he was born, Dattatreya had given a blessing, directly that he had Aktasiddhi. He had all this power, and then he would eventually be gotten ridden by an incarnation of Bhagavan. That was one of the things. Till that point, he's going to be extremely strong and powerful. That's Kartavirya Arjuna. Then we saw this other story of Jamadagni, to who Rama was born, who got the Parashu. So he became the Parashurama, right? And then where we left off was one day when this Kartavirya Arjuna was hunting, he came to this ashramam of Jamadagni, where Jamadagni had, he had this Kamadhenu who could make whatever he wants. And then Kartavirya Arjuna, sorry, I think I lost. People keep freezing. I think my stable. Let me just turn my video off for a few seconds, okay? So the Kartavirya Arjuna, he wanted to get that Kamadhenu, so he tried to attack, right? And then with all of that, then Jamadagni gets injured, and then Parashurama gets very upset. That's kind of where we left at stanza 6. So stanza 7, so Parashurama then goes to attack Kartavirya Arjuna. He goes to Mahishmati, and this Kartavirya Arjuna has what is called as 17 Akshauhinis. This Akshauhini word is going to come later. It's got multiple chariots, elephants, and all of that. He had 17 Akshauhinis, and he also had 10,000 children. Kartavirya Arjuna had. So Parashurama, along with his friend, the previous one which we saw, Vranamunim, they both got rid of all of them. They got rid of everybody, not Kartavirya Arjuna, but he got rid of all of the army and chariot and all of that stuff. That's where the stanza 7 ends. So, Putranam Ayutena, Sapta Dashabhihi, put ish, Sapta Dashabhish, Chakshauhini Bhir Maha, put a plus, Chakshauhini Bhir Maha, Senani Bhiraneka, Mitra Nivahaihi, and then a comma. So, first comma is in the first line after Ayutena, then the whole thing comes together. And then second line after Nivahaihi, comma, Vyajrumbhita Yodhanaha. Putranhamayutena Saptadashabhischakshauhinibhirmahasenanibhiraneka Nivahaihi Vyajrumbhita Yodhanaha.
पुत्राणामयुतेन सप्तदशभिश्चाक्षौहिणीभिर्महा सेनानिभिरनेकमित्रनिवहैः व्याजृम्भिता योधनः पुत्राणाम् अयुतेन सप्तदशभिश्चाक्षिहिणी सप्तदशभिश्चाक्षौहिणी सेनानिभिरनेकमित्रनिवहैः व्याजृम्भिता योधनः
पुत्राणामयुतेन सप्तदशभिश्चाक्षौहिणी सेनानी वीरनेकमित्रनिधनः पुत्राणामयुतेन सप्तदशभिश्चाक्षौहिणीभिर्महा सेनानिभिरनेकमित्रनिवहैः व्याजृम्भिता योधनः.
Sadyah, third line, if you have a Sadyah, put a is to join it. Sadyas, Tvat Kakutara, Bana, Vidalan, Nishesha, Sainyotkaro, comma. So that whole line is continuous, comma at the end. Bhiti, Pradruda, Nashta, Shishta, Tanayaha, comma. Tvam Apadat Hehayaha. So that ma that is there, Tvam Apadat Hehayaha. Sadyastvatka Kutara Bana Vidalan Nishesha Sainyotkaro Bhiti Pradruda Nashta Shishta Tanayaha Tvam Apadat Hehayaha.
सद्यस्तत्ककुठारबाणविदलन्निःशेषसैन्योत्करो भीतिप्रदृतनष्टशिष्टतनयः त्वामापताद्धेहयः सद्यस्तत्ककुठारबाणविदलन्निःशेषसैन्योत्करो भीतिप्रदृतनष्टशिष्टतनयः त्वामापतद्धेहयः
सद्यस्त्वत्ककुठारबाणविदलन्निःशेषसैन्योत्करोतनशिष्टतनयः त्वामापत हेहयः इति प्रद्रुतनष्टशिष्टतनयः त्वामापतद्धेहयः.
Stanza 8. लीलावारित नर्मदा जलवलल लंकेश गर्वापह श्रीमद्बाहु सहस्रमुक्त बहुशस्त्रास्त्रं निरुन्दन्नमुं चक्रे त्वय्यत वैष्णवेऽपि विफले बुद्ध्वा हरिं त्वां मुधा ध्यायन्तं छित सर्वदोषमवधीः सोघात् परं ते पदम्. So this particular stanza, before the battle happens between Parashurama and Kartavirya Arjuna itself, talks about the greatness of Kartavirya Arjuna. So some of this thing is going to overlap with Ramayana. So it talked about how, because Kartavirya Arjuna, like it said, had 10,000 arms, whether he really had 10,000 arms or he had the strength of 10,000 arms, either way, right? So it talked about how once Kartavirya Arjuna on the river Narmada, when it was actually flowing, Kartavirya Arjuna, using his hands, he was so powerful, he deflected the waters of Narmada to change direction. And it changed direction and went in such a way that Ravana was on one particular banks of Narmada, and that entire banks of Narmada got flooded, and Ravana was defeated. He could not overcome that. That is how strong Kartavirya Arjuna was. Just with his hands, he was able to deflect. So he's very, very powerful. That was kind of given to mention here to talk about the strength of Kartavirya Arjuna, right? How strong he is. So here, when the Kartavirya Arjuna and then what you call Parashurama get into a battle, there is a big battle that goes on, right? He has 10,000 arms, he's doing all of these things, and they both keep battling for a really long time with no decision. Finally, at one point, this Kartavirya Arjuna, he sends a chakram, like a Sudarshan, not quite a Sudarshan chakram, something like that, towards Parashurama, which is extremely powerful. But because Parashurama is also an Amsham of Narayana, that chakram doesn't do anything. So at that time, Kartavirya Arjuna realizes that this person who he's fighting with is not a normal person. He's probably some big incarnation or a big person, and then he surrenders, right? So at that time, anyway, the plan was that Dattatreya had said that one incarnation of Bhagavan is going to come and get rid of Kartavirya Arjuna. And then with that, Kartavirya Arjuna is defeated and then gotten rid of. That is the first one that happens with Parashurama. So this is what, when you kind of think of this comparison, next stanza or somewhere, you'll see how Parashurama surrenders to Rama. So Kartavirya Arjuna will be greater than Ravana. Rama is greater than Parashurama. So therefore, Rama is greater than Ravana. You can kind of put that equation. That's kind of how it is going to go. So this particular one, for those who know Sanskrit, there's something called as a samas in Sanskrit, which means they take multiple things and stitch it together into a long word, which means you cannot break it. So the first two lines of this stanza is a samas. So you have to pretty much say the two lines together. You cannot pause anywhere, okay? But I'll break it into words so you can separate it out. Leela varita narmada jala Balal Lankesha Garvapaha, put a plus, Srimad Bahu Sahasra Mukta Bahu Shastrastram Nirundhan Amum. Nirundhan Namum. You can say that together. Yes, we can kind of separate those words easily, but you say those two lines together. लीलावारित नर्मदा जलवलल्लङ्केश गर्वापः श्रीमद्बाहु सहस्रमुक्त बहुशस्त्रास्त्रं निरुन्दन्नमुम्
लीलावारित नर्मदा जलवलल्लङ्केश गर्वापः श्रीमद्बाहु सहस्रमुक्त बहुशस्त्रास्त्रं निरुन्धन्नमुम् लीलावारित नर्मदा जलवलल्लङ्केश गर्वापः श्रीमद्बाहु सहस्रमुक्त बहुशस्त्रास्त्रं निरुन्धन्नमुम्
लीलावारित नर्मदा जलवलल्लङ्केश गर्वापः श्रीमद्बाहु सहस्रमुक्त बहुशस्त्रास्त्रं निरुन्दन्नमुम् लीलावारित नर्मदा जलवलल्लङ्केश गर्वापः श्रीमद्बाहु सहस्रमुक्त बहुशस्त्रास्त्रं निरुन्दन्नमुम्
चक्रे त्वय्यत वैष्णवेऽपि विफले बुद्ध्वा हरिं त्वां मुदा ध्यायन्तं छित सर्वदोषमवधीः सोगात् परं ते पदम् चक्रे त्वय्यत वैष्णवेऽपि विफले बुद्ध्वा हरिं त्वां मुधा ध्यायन्तं छित सर्वदोषमवधीः सोगात् परं ते पदम्
चक्रे त्वय्यथ वैष्णवेऽपि विफले बुद्ध्या हरिं त्वां मुदा ध्यायन्तं चित सर्वदोषमवधीः सोगात् परं ते पदम्
Vidya, third line.
चक्रे त्वय्यथ
बुद्ध्वा va sound. बुद्ध्वा हरिं त्वां मुदा.
चक्रे त्वय्यथ वैष्णवेऽपि विफले बुद्ध्वा हरिं त्वां मुदा ध्यायन्तं छित सर्वदोषमवधीः सोगात् परं ते पदम्
चक्रे त्वय्यत वैष्णवेऽपि विफले बुद्ध्वा हरिं त्वां मुदा ध्यायन्तं चित सर्वदोषमवधीः सोगात् परं ते पदम् चक्रे त्वय्यत वैष्णवेऽपि विफले बुद्ध्वा हरिं त्वां मुदा ध्यायन्तं चित सर्वदोषमवधीः सोगात् परं ते पदम्
Heman, third line after Vipale, there is a comma, okay? So I wasn't sure if you were stopping there, but there's a comma there. Stanza 9. भूयो मर्षितहेहयात्मजगणैः ताते हते रेणुकाम् आज्ञानां हृदयं निरीक्ष्य बहुशो घोरां प्रतिज्ञां वहन् ध्यानानीतरधायुधस्त्वमकृता विप्रद्रुहः क्षत्रियान् दिक्चक्रेषु कुटारयन् विशिकयन् निः क्षत्रिया मेधिनीम्. This battle things continuing. So Parashurama then gets rid of Kartavirya Arjuna. He brings back the Kamadhenu to his father Jamadagni, who then realizes, if you remember the story I said 2 weeks back, where although he's born in the clan of the Brahmanas, he's going to have, the grandson is going to have the blood or the intent of a Kshatriya, right? So his father Jamadagni is telling Parashurama, you are born in the clan of Brahmanas. You are not supposed to go around killing people. That too, a king, right? Kartavirya Arjuna is a great king, so you cannot do that. So he says you have to go and do a little bit of pariharam. So he sends him away. So at that point, when Parashurama is away, some of the sons of Kartavirya Arjuna who are still left over from that wanted to take a revenge. So they again come and it's like this, like a movie, right? This battle keeps going on between them. So they come back again to Jamadagni and they do all the destroy all the property, hurt him and all that. So at that time when Parashurama comes back, his mother Renuka is very upset because her husband is almost dead. So she's beating her chest and crying about how these people are doing atrocities. These kings are doing atrocities everywhere. So at that time, he then takes a Ghoram Pratignyam Vahan. He takes a very, fearful promise, a terrible vow Parashurama takes, which is he says, I'm going to get rid of all the Kshatriyas who are actually evil and unfair in this earth. And then he decides to go doing that. So that is one of, like I said, long time back, Parashurama, one of the main intent of it was to get rid of all this evil and cruel rulers who were actually there at that period of time, which is the vow he actually takes here. Bhuyo Marshita Hehayatmaja Ganaihi. So Ganaihi, comma. Tate Hate Renukam, comma. Agnanam Hridayam Niriksha Bahusho, comma. Ghoram Pratignyam Vahan. भूयो मर्षितहेहयात्मजगणैः ताते हते रेणुकाम् आज्ञानां हृदयं निरीक्ष्य बहुशो घोरां प्रतिज्ञां वहन्.
भूयो मर्षितहेहयात्मजगणैः ताते हते रेणुकाम् आज्ञानां हृदयं निरीक्ष्य बहुशो घोरां प्रतिज्ञां वहन्. भूयो मर्षितहेहयात्मजगणैः ताते हते रेणुकाम् आज्ञानां हृदयं निरीक्ष्य बहुशो घोरां प्रतिज्ञां वहन्.
भूयो मर्षितहेहयात्मजगणैः ताते हते रेणुका आज्ञानां हृदयं निरीक्ष्य बहुशो घोरां प्रतिज्ञां वहन्. भूयो मर्षितहेहयात्मजगणैः ताते हते रेणुका आज्ञानां हृदयं निरीक्ष्य बहुशो घोरां प्रतिज्ञां वहन्.
Him in the first line, last word, Renukam. There's a im there, okay? I didn't hear. I heard Renuka, Renukam, im.
Renuka, actually. Renukam, okay.
Yeah. Dhyananita Ratha Yudhas. If you have a Yudaha Visarga, just put a is to join. Ratha Yudhas Tomakrita Bipra Druhaha. There's a Visarga that is coming. And you have to say that Visarga because Ksha is coming later. So we are not pausing, but you're saying that Visarga. Druhaha Kshatriyan, and then a comma. So comma at the end of that line. Dik Chakreshu Kutharayan Bishikayan, comma. Same logic. Nihi. You have to say that Visarga. Nihi Kshatriyam Medini. ध्यानानीतरथायुधस्त्वमकृता विप्रद्रुहः क्षत्रियान् दिक्चक्रेषु कुठारयन् विशिखयन् निहि क्षत्रियां मेधिनीम्.
Rajesh ji, on the first line after the Krita, there is a Visarga. Should I just remove it?
Yeah, because Vipra is coming, there's no joining Sandhi there. So yeah, you can remove it there. Yeah, Vipradruha.
Okay.
Tomakrita Vipradruha Kshatriya.
Okay. Thank you.
After Kruta, is there a comma?
No, that whole line is continuous. Whole line is continuous.
Okay. ध्यानानीतरथायुधस्त्वमकृथा विप्रद्रुहः क्षत्रियान् दिक्चक्रेषु कुठारयन् विशिखयन् निह क्षत्रियां मेदिनीम्.
That last word, Nihi Kshatriyam Medini.
Nihi. Okay. ध्यानानीतरथायुधस्त्वमकृथा विप्रद्रुहः क्षत्रियान् दिक्चक्रेषु कुठारयन् विशिखयन् निहि क्षत्रियां मेदिनीम्
ध्यानानीतरतायुधस्त्वमकृता विप्रद्रुहः क्षत्रियान् दिक्चक्रेषु कुठारयन् विशिखयन् निहि क्षत्रियां मेदिनीम् ध्यानानीतरतायुधस्त्वमकृता विप्रद्रुहः क्षत्रियान् दिक्चक्रेषु कुठारयन् विशिखयन् निहि क्षत्रियां मेदिनीम्.
Translated. तातो जीवन कृन्नुपालककुलं त्रिसप्तकृत्वो जयन् सन्तर्प्यात समन्त पञ्चकमहारक्तह्रदौगे पितॄन् यज्ञे क्ष्मामपि काश्यपादिषु दिशन् साल्वेन युध्यन् पुनः कृष्णो मुं निहनिष्यतीति शमितो युद्धात् कुमारैर्भवान्. So after he takes a Ghora Pratigna saying that, that there is all these people in governmental people, Kshatriyas are the rulers, right? So all these rulers were performing a lot of sinful activities, not taking care of people and all of these things. He says, my way is I'm going to go eradicate all of the Kshatriya. That is the primary purpose. He goes around and then from the entire face of the earth, 3 times 7, 21. So here, there are different, I don't know the exact answer, whether it says, some say 21 generations, which may seem too much, or 21 clans. I don't know what it is, but there's some number 21. So essentially, he's getting rid of all these evil Kshatriyas. That's the main point, right? Everywhere from the face of the earth. And once he's done, he then goes to this place called as Samanta Panchaka, which is Kurukshetra, the current Kurukshetra, which is there. And this is going to come later in Krishna Avataram in Dasakam 84. It's going to come where they're going to talk about how that's a very religious place. Everybody is going to go there to that Samanta Panchakam place. So he goes there and finally he's doing the Tarpanam. He's kind of washing away. He's kind of doing all this thing. I'm done with all of these things, and he stops. But before he does it, Parashurama goes to Ayodhya because he comes to know. Sorry, I think I froze briefly.
Rajeshri, I'm not hearing you.
Yeah. I think my thing froze briefly. I don't know at what point I froze. Okay, can you hear me okay now? Okay, can you hear me now better? I think I'm seeing people moving now. Okay, give me one sec.